Hey everyone, welcome to KSSP Podcast. I am Spencer.
And I am Katie. Today we are going to be talking about interdimensional theory. We're going to be talking about the different dimensions in our universe. I wanted to start off with a few facts here that I found. So Ella Alderson of Medium.com says that scientists do not believe there can exist. This is worded weird, but scientists don't believe that more than 11 dimensions can exist because conditions become unstable and particles naturally collapse back down into 10 or 11 dimensions. The 12th dimension, for example, introduces a second time. And while strings can only vibrate in 10 dimensions, membranes can exist at 11 dimensions. Now, what is the difference between strings and membranes? It's a question I had. So I looked at PBS.com. They say the difference between membranes and strings is that membranes are higher dimensional objects than strings. Strings are one-dimensional. Some theorists think that we live in a three-brain universe that is moving through higher dimensional space-time. Rick Robinson of Now, powered by the Northrop Grumman, says that string theory argues that gravity waves should weaken over very large intergalactic distances, causing the expansion of the universe to gradually accelerate. In string theory, this weakening is due to the gravitational energy leaking into all of these other dimensions. But the neutron star collision observations show no hint of such a leakage on scales ranging from about 1 mile up to 80 million light years. And these findings suggest that higher dimensions are either so small or so vast that a mere 80 million light years isn't enough to be noticed. So there's about two options here. Yeah, so they're either so tiny that we can't see them or so large that we can't see them. And
the higher dimension?
The higher dimensions, yes, exactly.
Are they so I'm guessing like we are a dimension? Or no?
We are a dimension? What do you mean?
Like, are we experiencing a dimension?
Yeah, we experience life in the 3 dimensions. We can observe the first 3 dimensions.
Oh, okay. So then they're saying
higher dimensions than that are either crumpled up so small that we can't observe them, or they're just spread across so largely that we cannot observe them.
And that in theory, or I don't know. So they're saying like time is that like time would be one, like a next dimension or one of these 11 dimensions?
Yeah, time would be the 4th dimension is what the theory says, yes.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I guess to me it would make more sense for them to be so large that we cannot observe them. In my head, that just makes the most sense because I don't see how these dimensions would be crumpled up so small.
So is it like a perception thing? Like, like how I've always wondered if water bears can even perceive humans because of how much larger we are. Like, is that what they're kind of theorizing?
Yep, that's the exact same concept. It's just so large that it's too big for us to perceive.
Huh.
Or it's so small that it's too small for us to perceive. That's the other theory. But I mean, I guess, yeah, if I had to take an educated guess, which isn't very educated, it's a little educated. I'm not an expert, but like if I had to guess, I would say that they're so large because we do still experience time. We just don't observe time completely.
Like the actual physical.
Like the actual physical concept of time, yeah.
Okay.
And these higher dimensions may exist, but they're likely so crumpled up that they're too small to easily detect. Continuing this quote here. Phys.org reports a topological form called Calabi-Yau manifold. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That could confine the higher dimensions to a subatomic scale. Yet, in spite of being so confined, the extra dimensions may still be indirectly detectable by measuring the subtle effects they've had over the history of the universe. CERN, a European nuclear energy organization, reports that other tools may be available for investigating these dimensions. Gravitons, or hypothesized but not yet detected particles produced by gravitation, are one possibility. Examination of atomic-sized black holes, also hypothesized but not yet detected, could provide yet another tool.
I think it was actually CERN the last time that we talked.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one where people were thinking that the world was going to end. It was because they were restarting CERN. But I think that is still the Hadron Collider. I think Hadron
I
Collider is
think
part of
that is where
CERN,
the
isn't it?
Hadron Collider is.
Yeah. So it was CERN, though, that they were making this sound all scary. Not the Hadron Collider, just CERN, the acronym, I think, was supposed to be a spooky boogeyman. And then gravitons. I don't know much about them, but
I guess if they were crumpled up, I could see it being where there's so many of these crumpled up dimensions that connect to each other in a way that we cannot observe because we're human. It could also even be that these dimensions are so large, but the way they interact with our universe is through these tiny crumpled up holes, I guess you could say, in the universe. Like, I could see that manifesting in that way because, like, with how they were explaining with gravitons, for example, and like atomic sized black holes. And we don't know what's inside of black holes, as we discussed before. We don't know what the laws of physics are inside of a black hole. So there could easily be access to, or you would experiences of higher dimensions in black holes. We don't know for sure.
So do they, I don't know, because you have a video for us, right?
I do. Yes.
Does that video go over what each dimension supposedly is? Like, do they list
I think
somewhere?
that's the video, as it goes over what each dimension would be.
So it'll tell us like time, like, because is gravity one of the supposed dimensions then?
That's what I've read before. Yeah, I've read that it's the fifth dimension, at least in Michio Kaku's book that I read.
Okay. Oh, and you haven't watched the video yet either, so you don't know if it mentions. Okay.
Right, I haven't watched the whole video, no, but we're gonna watch it now. If you don't have anything else to add now.
No.
I got my notepad.
I'll take notes. Try to take notes.
11 dimensions explained, higher dimensions explained, all dimensions explained, dimensions. That's the title. By Engineering Made Easy. So let's see what they have to say.
I will explain all the 11 dimensions one by one. The video will be more and more interesting as we proceed. So stay with me till the end. Let's start with the zero dimension. Zero dimension. A point is an example of the zeroth dimension that has no length, no breadth, and no height. A zero-dimensional being cannot move in any direction and is fixed to a point. First dimension. A straight line is an example of first dimension that has only one dimension, length. A one-dimensional being can move only in one direction, that is, on a straight line. Second dimension. Second-dimensional or 2D objects are flat shapes like squares and triangles. Motion of a two-dimensional being is restricted to a plane surface. Therefore, it cannot move upward or downward. Third dimension. Third-dimensional objects have three dimensions, length, breadth, and height. Solid objects like cubes and spheres are examples of 3D objects. We humans are three-dimensional beings, as we can move freely in three-dimensional space. Fourth dimension. Time is considered the fourth dimension. A four-dimensional being can move freely in time dimension and has full control over time. He would be able to move in any desired direction in time, past or future. A person living in the fourth dimension can go to a certain point in past time and change its decision. But if we consider the fourth dimension from the geometrical point of view, then hypercube is a four-dimensional object. It is also called a tesseract. A hypercube is four-dimensional analog of the cube, fifth dimension.
I want to go back to that visual for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, if you could travel within four dimensions, I imagine if you were four-dimensional being, you would end up still at the point where you were at that point in time before. Like, I don't think it would be in a situation where there's two of you, if that makes sense. Like, you would just be you, but, like, you might have the same memories as the future, but, like, your body physically would be in the past where it was before. You can still change your decisions, but, like, that, I don't think it would be a scenario where, like, you would have two of you and, like, you know, you would have to, like, kill one of them or something to like not
I
mess up
think I
the
see what you're.
space-time continuum. You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, because if future me went back to the past, that would have been me. Is that what you're saying? I guess so. You're
Yeah,
talking
like
about if
so.
someone goes back in time, there isn't going to be two of me because that was you going. The you that existed back in time is the you from the future going back in time. Is that what you're
Yeah, so
saying?
basically, like,
Something
let's
like that.
say you're going back in time, and at the moment in the past, when you were at that point in time, you were sitting in a classroom. But in the future, as you go back in time, you're maybe at your house. So when you go back in time, you would be your same self sitting in that classroom. There wouldn't be a second one of you that appears in the house at that moment in time. Like, I think
So
to
you're
travel in 4 dimensions, you also have to travel in 3 dimensions, in the first 3 dimensions as well.
oh okay. So you're saying we could go back in time
If we're 4-dimensional, yeah.
to like when I was a kid, but I wouldn't be able like if I was a kid and visiting my grandparents, I couldn't go back in time to that same exact day
You
and
would
be
go,
at my parents' house. I would be
right.
in that person at my grandparents' house, but I could choose to leave that, like change what
Yeah,
had happened, is what you're saying.
exactly.
So kind of like our past selves are almost, I don't know, like save points, if you will. If we had the ability to
Yeah,
go back in time, we would just go back to those and then we could change it.
exactly. That's a good way to think of it too. It's like a save point in a video game.
Hmm.
Is at least that's what I would think. I mean, I'm not a
Yeah, I mean,
scientist, like I said, but
I don't think we'll never know until we go. So just like any
exactly.
science.
Four-dimensional analog of the cube, fifth dimension. A fifth-dimensional being can move freely in time, either in past or future as per his wish, and is able to be present at different locations at the
Oh,
same time.
well, that just kind of destroyed my theory. But
Well,
I was
that's a
kind of
different
right.
dimension, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was kind of right about 4-dimensional thinking,
Yeah.
or 4-dimensional movement. I was right about that, I guess, but I didn't think
I
about in the
almost feel
fifth
like
dimension how you could do that.
wouldn't fifth dimension just be multiple universes that like almost multiple like multiverses then? Are they
Well,
saying that you're like
they're
this
saying I
these
think this is in the same universe, as far as I can
so
tell.
what are they defining the fifth dimension as? Because they're saying it's time travel like but we for the
I'm
fourth
not sure
dimension is
exactly
time.
how to put it into a definition. I just know they're saying like you could be multiple places out, so you can travel through time. I can understand it on a mental level. I just don't know how to explain this.
No, that's
So
I
like
guess yeah, and I just don't
you can
understand.
travel through time, but like you can travel through multiple timelines in a sense. I think
But
that's,
to
but like
me
not
that
multiple timelines, but like the 3 dimensions. Like you can travel within the 3 dimensions and the 4th dimension, not just the 4th dimension.
okay,
Like I get it. It's just like I do get it in my brain. It's just so hard to explain this.
so in the fifth dimension there can be multiple of you.
Yeah.
So like in this reality right now,
But where does that
we're sitting
matter
here
come from?
podcasting. There could be another me at my grandpa's house right now.
Yeah, and at your parents' house at the same time.
I'm at my parents' house, but so there could be Oh, you meant like the two of us. I thought you were adding another third person.
Oh no.
Huh.
Okay, but that makes sense to me though. Okay. Let's
Yeah, we
see.
can keep going. It's fine.
He can do many jobs and have different hobbies simultaneously. Actually, parallel universes exist in the fifth dimension.
Oh, you were right.
Your separate
Okay, so it is.
in parallel universes.
That makes sense. I actually want to make in my head, I see an easy way to, or not easy, but a way to visualize it. So I want to draw that out. Not today, sometime, because it would
Yeah,
take
for
time.
sure. Okay, so it is multiple timelines. Yeah.
So basically, multiverse.
And which is, yeah, multiple timelines would mean multiple universes as far as we know. Well, okay. That's the thing, is that can there be multiple timelines in the same universe, or is each universe restricted to one timeline?
I have a drawing that might help.
Did you draw it on some paper here?
Well, okay. So let's say you know the X and Y axis.
Yeah.
And there is, so to me, I
And there's a
explained it.
Z-axis, and you can add the T-axis for time.
Oh, I don't know anything about a
Like, yeah, each
t-axis.
dimension would be an axis.
Well, because I think I explained it to you in chat once, but I totally forgot. But it was basically here. I'm gonna look for it, but we can keep playing it, and then maybe I'll read it later if it makes sense. It might have been when I was kind of sleep deprived, so it might not make sense when I'm rereading it. But we can, if I find it, I will try to explain it. But we can keep going unless you have more to say.
Okay.
Like, 'cause I don't know what else.
No, yeah, I just thrown out that question. That was it. Just
Which question?
Can one universe only have one timeline, or can one universe have multiple timelines?
I think it can have multiple, because for me, I see it as
I think it's really how we define the word universe. I think that's a big part of the question. Like, what encompasses the universe? Yeah, we can think of the three-dimensional universe easily. Not easily, but easier than trying to say, okay, what about the four-dimensional aspect of our universe? Are we on one timeline in this universe, or is it possible if we had access to the fourth dimension, would we be able to stay within our universe and travel to a different timeline? Or is traveling to a different timeline by proxy traveling to a different universe? But I think in the fifth dimension, you would have to go to a different universe, because otherwise there would be two of you. And I don't think that works out mathematically. But I'm not sure.
I'm wondering though if that is
think this through.
Like how I explained it though too. Like because I could visualize it 3D, because you can visualize things for like these things 3D. You just have to expand. You have to look at it with disbelief, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like open your mind to being able to see the concept rather than the reality of it, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
But I just really want to find that point that I made. Or like I don't know if it was a point. I just want to reread it to you, and then you let me know.
Right now, or
if I find it ever. So you can keep.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep going. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll even be able to find it because our messages are.
Yeah, we'll have to dig, but yeah. Okay.
Is having separate timelines, but one limitation of fifth dimension is.
Oh, you don't have it on the video though. It's not. Did you play the video?
Yeah.
It's not on the video. It's saying the difference between membranes and strings.
Oh, why did it do that?
I don't know.
I was trying to take this and make it its own tab, but instead it wanted to just keep this whole window, and except for the video I took.
Oh.
Okay. I'll just leave it like this. It's fine.
But one limitation of fifth dimension is that you cannot meet your self-version directly by using shortcuts to another timeline of parallel universe. Sixth dimension. In the sixth dimension, you have all the powers that you possess in the fifth dimension. You can see all the presents, pasts, and futures of all the parallel universes.
Wow.
But one limitation of the sixth dimension is that all the parallel universes must have the same beginning, or the initial condition. That is the Big Bang. But
interesting. Okay. So you can, first of all, there's a lot. You can see the past, present, and future, but you have to stay within the timeline with the same beginning. So that would be the sixth dimension. But I'm assuming if you go higher, you could even go into universes without the same beginning. I'm assuming that's what that implies.
For the sixth dimension?
Yeah.
So you can't actually, you can just see them? Like you
can see the past, present, and future. I think you can go into the other parallel universes, but they just have to have like the Big Bang as their beginning in the sixth dimension. So they need the same initial conditions, is what he said, which makes sense.
For every reality. For every,
yeah.
For multiverse.
At least, yeah, in the sixth dimension, at least, yeah.
But in the sixth dimension, you are free from the limitations of the fifth dimension, as you can easily jump from the timeline of your universe to any point present on the timeline of any parallel universe and meet your self-version. In the sixth dimension, your multiple versions can live their lives in parallel universes simultaneously. Seventh dimension. All the powers of a sixth dimensional being are possessed by the being of seventh dimension. He can have infinite forms of itself and can move from one universe to any other universe.
See, to me, that just makes me think that all people are connected, in a sense. If you can have multiple versions of yourself, what defines yourself and what defines others apart from yourself? Does that make sense?
So you're saying, I guess I always have believed that we, as a species, I guess, are all connected. I mean, I guess I'm a spiritual person in that sense. Like, but so are you? I guess for me, I just believe all of our consciousness is connected, not on a sense that we can perceive it, but on the grand scheme of things, we are all one.
Right, and we're all made of atoms and molecules.
Yeah. I mean,
we're all made of the same stuff the sun's made out of.
In this dimension, yeah. But I guess to me, in a higher dimension, consciousness is, I don't know.
I would think, yeah, in a higher dimension, you might be able to perceive other forms of consciousness, especially if there's other forms of yourself.
But I guess I think that we all merge into one consciousness.
Right. Are we all really connected into one consciousness if we were able to perceive a higher dimension? That's the question.
You're asking if we are able to perceive the higher dimension, are we all one? Like, do we merge to one?
Right. Or do we merge to one as we increase our dimensions?
Do we? I think so.
I think so too.
Unlike the sixth dimension, the seventh dimensional universes may have originated from different start conditions, not just the Big Bang. Eighth dimension. The eighth dimension has a plane of all the possible presents, pasts, and futures for all the infinite number of parallel universes. According to the string theory, in the eighth dimension, objects do not have any physical existence, like our digital world, where we cannot touch the objects, but only can see or hear them. In the eighth dimensional world, things can change shapes, size, and appear or disappear instantly, somewhat like the virtual reality. Ninth dimension. In the ninth dimension, universes may have their own laws of physics and separate conditions and probabilities of their origin. Surprisingly, in the ninth dimension, many civilizations or aliens may live simultaneously at the same place. These coexisting civilizations may not see or feel the presence of each other. The superpowers of a ninth dimensional being will blow your mind. He would have no physical form and would be able to move freely in space and time in any of the universes. 10th dimension. The 10th dimensional being would possess infinite powers that are beyond your imagination. It would be possible for him to control even the space-time and everything present in all the infinite number of universes. Because of the infinite powers of the 10th dimensional being, some researchers also suggest that the God lives in the 10th dimension. 11th dimension.
Alright, so God would live in the 10th dimension if God exists. I mean, that makes sense. I guess they'd be omniscient, omnipresent, no physical form. I mean, I could see that. That's just an interesting take right there.
Dimension. According to the string theory, everything in the universe is made up of infinitely small, one-dimensional vibrating loops called strings. These strings vibrate in 11 dimensions. Even the subatomic particles like electrons, protons, and neutrons are made up of strings that vibrate and rotate at the speed of light. A unique manner of vibration of strings is responsible for the unique characteristics of each subatomic particle. Size of a string is infinitely small. It is of the order of 10 to the power of minus 33 centimeters. 10 to the power of minus 33 centimeters is actually millionth of a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of a centimeter.
Wow.
Didn't get it? Let's understand it with an analogy. If we increase the size of an atom up to the size of the whole observable universe, then the size of the string would be just equal to a tree. So friends, these were the 11 dimensions. If you found the video interesting, then please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Alright. Yeah, so that was a video on dimensions. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, Don't know where Spencer went, though. We need him to stop the recording. But while I'm here, I'm just going to share that if you guys have any suggestions for topics we can cover, whether it's about science or any of the other topics we cover during the week, you can always leave us a comment. You can leave us a comment now on Twitch. You can leave us a comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. You can follow us on here as well. Yeah, that's about everything I've got for the day.